At 68, Rosemary Chen had convinced herself that romance was a young person's game. 20 years after her husband's passing, she'd settled into a comfortable routine morning. Tai Chi in the park, volunteer work at the animal shelter, and evening episodes of Grace and Frankie. With a cup of chamomile tea. Everything changed the day she accidentally joined a Zoom meeting. Meant for her neighbor. "I think you're in the wrong room, dear," said a distinguished gentleman with kind brown eyes and a salt and pepper beard. "This is Silver Singles Book Club." Rosemary's face flushed red. "Oh goodness, I'm so sorry. My neighbor, Martha, asked me to click on this link, but I must have." "Don't apologize," interrupted a cheerful woman with stylish purple glasses. "I'm Patricia, and we'd love to have you stay. What's the last book that made you cry happy tears?" Before she knew it, Rosemary was telling strangers about the Thursday Murder Club, and how it reminded her of the mysteries her late husband used to read aloud to her. The group listened with genuine interest, sharing their own stories of books and life. The distinguished gentleman introduced himself as Frank Morrison, a retired professor from Portland. "Would you consider staying for our full meeting next week? We're discussing Last Tango in Halifax, both the book and the TV series." Rosemary surprised herself by saying yes. What started as an accident became the highlight of her week. The Silver Singles Book Club met every Wednesday evening via Zoom, bringing together 12 members from across the country. There was Walter from Florida, who'd taken up salsa dancing at 70, Diana from Colorado, who'd started a travel blog after her divorce, and Miguel from California, who was learning to paint watercolors. But it was Frank who caught her attention. He had a professor's way of discussing books that reminded her of the intellectual conversations she'd missed when they read the Crown biography series. His insights about British history fascinated her. During their discussion of Downton Abbey companion books, his gentle humor made her laugh out loud. "You know," Frank said during a private message after one meeting, "I haven't looked forward to anything this much in years." "Neither have I," Rosemary typed back, her heart beating faster than it had in decades. Their friendship deepened beyond book discussions. Frank would send her funny memes about senior dating that reminded her of Grace and Frankie episodes. Rosemary shared photos of the rescue cats at her shelter, knowing Frank was a fellow cat lover. One evening, during their discussion of the Golden Girls memoir, Patricia made an observation that would change everything. "You know, Rose and Dorothy's friendship in the show reminds me of how some of the best romances start with genuine companionship and shared interests." Frank cleared his throat. "Speaking of companionship, Rosemary, I've been wondering, would you be interested in meeting for coffee? I mean, in person? I could drive up to Seattle." The video chat fell silent. Rosemary's heart raced. She'd been wondering the same thing but hadn't dared to ask. I'd love that," she whispered. The group erupted in cheers. "Finally," exclaimed Patricia, "we've all been watching this beautiful friendship bloom for months." 2 weeks later, Rosemary stood nervously in Pike Place Market, wearing her favorite lavender sweater and the pearl earrings her daughter had given her. She'd told her grown children about Frank, and their reaction had surprised her. "Mom, you deserve happiness," her son had said. "Dad would want you to find love again." When she spotted Frank walking toward her, holding a bouquet of daisies and looking just as nervous as she felt, something inside her heart opened up that had been closed for 20 years. "You're even more beautiful in person," Frank said softly, offering her the flowers. "You're quite handsome yourself," Rosemary replied, accepting the bouquet with trembling hands. Their coffee date stretched into lunch, then a walk through the market, then dinner at a cozy Italian restaurant. They talked about everything: their late spouses, their children, their dreams for retirement, their favorite Blue Bloods episodes. "I feel like a teenager again," Rosemary confessed as they shared tiramisu. "Is that silly at our age? If it's silly, then we're both fools," Frank said, reaching across the table to take her hand. "But I think we're just two people who've learned that love doesn't have an expiration date." 6 months later, the Silver Singles Book Club gathered for a very special meeting. Rosemary and Frank appeared on screen together, sitting on Frank's couch in Portland, where Rosemary had moved the month before. "We have an announcement," Frank said, his arm around Rosemary's shoulders. "We're engaged." Rosemary beamed, showing off a simple but elegant diamond ring. The virtual room exploded with excitement. Patricia wiped away tears. This is better than any romance novel we've ever read. Walter raised his coffee mug in a toast to proving that the best chapters of our lives can still be unwritten. As the celebration continued, Rosemary reflected on how much her life had changed. Since that accidental Zoom click, she'd found not just love but a whole community of friends who proved that aging could be an adventure, not a retreat. "What are we reading next?" she asked the group. "How about The Time Traveler's Wife?" suggested Diana. "I think we could all use a story about love transcending time." Frank squeezed Rosemary's hand. "Perfect choice," he said. "We have all the time in the world." As the meeting ended and they said their virtual goodbyes, Rosemary cuddled closer to Frank on the couch. Outside, Portland's autumn rain tapped gently against the windows, but inside, surrounded by books and the warm glow of love, found later in life, everything was golden. "Want to watch some Grace and Frankie?" Frank asked, reaching for the remote. Always, Rosemary smiled, thinking how art truly did imitate life. Sometimes the best adventures began when you least expected them, even at 68. Even on a random Wednesday. Even with an accidental click of a computer mouse.